Modelo, Blue White Player Show. I'm joined by my man Goon. I'm Aeneas Hawkins. We've got plenty of Penn State football to talk, Goon.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. I don't want to get into what we all know is approaching on Saturday just yet. We'll talk plenty about that. Let's talk about that victory against.
What happened? What do you mean?
Who did we play Saturday? Yeah, nobody has any idea. What did you think about the Wisconsin win? Come from behind, gritty, some adversity obviously in the mix. Tell me, Goon, how did you feel about that game?
It's obviously our MO this year.
Yeah.
Like the heartbreak kids over there, or like the shoestring kids where we're waiting till second half to make adjustments and move around. But I don't know. I mean, there's been a couple teams like this in the past that have been started slow, but then as the game goes on, defensively and offensively, we take the game over.
Yep.
And that's not a bad thing, but it's sort of scary for the fans.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, what's going on here? And then with Drew, I got to ask you, when we go out there and Bo fumbles a snap.
Yeah.
That's a delay of game. I know exactly what you thought.
Yeah, 2021 Iowa.
Exactly.
That's exactly where my head went.
I said everybody in the world was thinking of that game, and then, oh, God, are we going to have one of those other games where we don't have a guy prepared to play backup and this and that? But you know what? He settled down just fine, man. And you know what? It took a couple hits. It's just like, you know how it is. You get into a game, you get hit, and like, boom, all right, I'm part of this game now. Now I'm in.
We're just playing football.
Absolutely.
Yep. And I will say, you mentioned 2021 Iowa, and I think that's the biggest indicator of a healthy Penn State football and a Penn State football that's getting better year by year. Just 3 years ago, we didn't have an adequate backup that could go in there and win the game. We have that now. Bo Pribula looks like he's a starting quarterback and is a high-level player at that. And he honestly brings some unique aspects to the offense with his mobility and his ability to extend the play. But I agree with you. Their ability to come back, make adjustments at halftime, again, to me, it's a testament to Coach Franklin, but more importantly, it's a testament to Tom Allen, Andy Kobenicki, and the rest of that staff. It's not easy making adjustments at halftime, Goon. It seems like a big window when you're on your couch drinking a Modelo, just watching, waiting for him to come back. But when you're in that locker room,
I'm close on this one.
It's hard.
Wearing teams down and beating teams down on the line of scrimmage.
And
we wore down
Wisconsin. And that is what they do.
At Wisconsin on a Saturday night.
No doubt.
And that is their MO.
Mm-hmm. That's the entire brand of Wisconsin football. And their head coach, Luke Fickell, is another gritty guy. And I'll tell you what, you talk about depth on the defensive line. A guy I got to shout out, Alonzo Ford. Who, again, suffered an Achilles tear last year, was supposed to contribute on the defensive line. We really didn't know what we had with Alonzo because he comes from a smaller school. He's an ODU guy, and you don't know how transfers who come up to a higher level are going to take that significant rise in competition, as you know exists. And Alonzo Ford was flying around making plays. Smith Bilbert's playing significant reps. Amin Vanover, we know what he brings to the table. But it's a great sign at this point in the season to see so many players, specifically on the defensive side of the ball, playing well.
I mean, Landon will be in there in a little bit. He's at an event right now. But we were talking, we were together for our little watch party we had Saturday night over at Football Letterman's Club. And, I loved how the offensive line played. Showed, we had a backup in there. What's the offensive line do? You got to rally around the young guy.
Yep.
Bo's not a young guy. He's been around the block 100 times. So it's not like he was sitting there playing a true freshman,
No doubt.
Bo's been around. So it's like it reminds me of Clifford and
McSorley.
No, Levis.
My guy, Will Levis.
Yeah. Now you say that name with the McSorley. Got a pretty good friend who played quarterback here in my era.
Yeah, what was his name?
He may or may not have said, I got McSorley vibes out of Pribula.
Yeah, it's really apparent. It's hard not to make Trace McSorley comparisons.
Same number. They play the same very similar game.
And let me tell you what, having been around both of them, they're very similar personalities. Both humble kids, both guys that you'll meet, and you wouldn't know that they're really good quarterbacks unless you ask them.
Yeah. But they don't have that quarterback vibe. Like
they don't.
Christian Hackenberg, you look at Kerry Collins, you look at Sean Clifford,
quarterbacks.
You got the 6'4", 6'5" vibe, okay, they're quarterbacks.
Yep.
Will Levis was obviously a savage, but he wasn't super tall, right?
No, it wasn't super tall. quick Will Levis story. I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but
That's what you do.
This what I do best.
I keep the thing online. I keep the train running, bro.
And when we have a show,
always distracts everybody.
When we have a show, when you're the guy that keeps us on track, it tells you a lot about where we're at as a show. It's a distracted unit. We do our best.
Ooh, baby.
A lot of reps on the interior of the offensive and defensive line here, banging in those B gaps. But my point is, with Will Levis, he's not the tallest guy. You're right. He's about my height, 6'1", 6'2". But Will Levis used to lift with the D-line. Oof. Day in and day out, and really, he was probably stronger than about 85% of us. The first time we went live against Will Levis, he was playing quarterback. I beat the offensive guard in front of me cleanly. I'm 310 pounds. I'm a big guy. I bounced off of Will Levis. Like, he dipped his shoulder and gave me a quick helmet tap, and I was on my rear end wondering I was shocked. I had never had a quarterback do that to me in my life. But let's get back to Penn State football currently.
It seems to happen to you a lot.
Yeah, there were a lot of those moments, man.
Were you picked on? Like,
it was one of those things where, like, even when I was about to win, like, I had done everything right.
But he's a quarterback in practice. You're not going to hit him, so that you had an excuse. Like,
well, no, we were live. I was trying to hit him. This
helping you out.
Yeah,
here.
you're right. You're right. This is my wonderful co-host.
Couch time right now.
You're right.
You're not going to be on a couch in like 10 years.
I know.
I hit Will Levis so hard.
Well, I got to get these stories out now, the truth of the stories out now, because when I start having kids, Goon, they're not going to get any of these stories. I'm going to be Superman in their eyes. I'm going to tell them these stories like I was the winner. Superman. I'm going to be the old uncle at Thanksgiving telling them if my knee wouldn't have blown out, I would have done X, Y, Z. That will be me. I'm going to tell you that now.
Wait, so you're going to be like Uncle Goon then?
Yeah, I'll be just like you when I grow up. That's my point.
Back when I played, you have no idea.
That is a long-winded way of saying I'll be like you.
I ran a 3.840. Yeah. Oh, it's good to go.
You mentioned the offensive line, Goon. I want to highlight that group again because, I mean, there were questions, and rightfully so. You lose 2 NFL tackles. You lose an NFL center, all 3 of whom are on active rosters. Obviously, we know what Olu is expected to become. Caden Wallace has taken some significant snaps with the New England Patriots. And we had questions about how that unit would be able to put together a group on par. And honestly, this is what I want to ask you. Is this unit this year even better? They're playing so cohesively without necessarily the same star power that they had last year. What do you see out of that unit specifically?
I mean, for people who listen to the show on a normal basis will realize what I'm going to say here. But when you were in the elevator, we talked about the depth of our offensive line and how we finally have, like, we're okay having, like, in my opinion, if you need to start freshmen and sophomores on your offensive line and they're not Supermen, okay, Jeff Hardings was Superman. He started as a sophomore. He played as a redshirt freshman, started as a sophomore. Marco the same way. Mm-hmm. That's a successful recruit.
Right.
It seems like the last 15 years we were expecting guys to come in and play right away.
And be ready.
You know how hard that is.
It's the hardest spot on the field to play as a freshman.
Absolutely, because you're used to being you and I size, going against people who are my wife and your girlfriend's size and just dominating and just throwing them around and this and that. And then you get up here, then you're like, dude, that guy's my size.
No doubt.
You really need to learn how to play the game again.
Yeah. It's
because you're learning to play the game against people your own size.
I agree. I will say
what we're doing with the offensive line right now and the depth that we're building with Troutline is absolutely amazing. Thank God it's going on because we are starting to produce NFL players on a regular basis along the offensive line. We got guys going out. Nolan Rucci steps in the other day. You know what I mean? We got the Cousins kid playing right guard right now.
Yep.
Kid's legit. Dude.
Yeah, that kid's good.
So there's a guy right there who was a star.
Right.
In the making because he's a redshirt freshman. Or is he a true freshman?
He's a true freshman. That kid's like 12.
The kid holds like a freaking 11-year NFL veteran.
He's a massive human being.
He holds. It's perfect. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And he knows where to hold. Hold with the hips. Keep your hands inside. They'll never call it.
They'll never call it.
And he knows how to pull it away.
Yes, he does.
When the referee's like, hey, what's that?
There's nothing more annoying as a defensive lineman than being held the entire game and nothing.
Of course you're nothing's going to get called.
Nothing's going to get called. You hold every play. And that's why they don't call it as much as they should because it's every single play. So if you call one of them, then we're not even going to have a football game.
I know this is not Penn State related.
No, it's not.
There is a report coming out that Chicago is complaining so bad about the non-hold calls in that last play of the game that the NFL is considering bringing the Bears back and playing one play again.
No, they're not. That's not going to happen.
Just telling you what I heard.
There's no way that's going to happen.
Could you imagine the precedence that would set?
That would be a horrible precedent. That's exactly why it won't happen.
That's 100% right.
Speaking of which, again, we're off topic once again. But did you see the pre-snap of the Hail Mary and the guy who ended up tipping the ball up to the receiver in the end zone, which you're never supposed to do defensively on the last play. It's very clear. You smack the ball down. You do not tip it up.
Yes.
He is back facing to the play, talking trash to the fans.
He's still talking crap to the fans.
He's still dancing.
He's doing this, and the play's going on, and then he's like runs over and bats the ball up.
And then hands him the game. Yeah, that's the importance of focus there.
That's karma.
Yeah, that's a bad deal.
Very good karma.
Obviously.
So, we're talking about you.
Okay.
Give me your day today.
My day today?
Tell people what you do to get up here to be on this show.
Yeah. Well, today is unique because we celebrate.
You're not in an elevator.
I'm not in an elevator, so unique in that way, but also in the sense that so is my girlfriend's birthday is tomorrow.
Oh.
So we celebrated this past weekend.
Oh.
So that was my day Friday. I live in Downingtown, Pennsylvania, so we're like out near Philly. And then we drove up to upstate New York because her best friend's daughter had her third birthday party. So I'm up there with my girl, her parents. We're having a birthday party. We got up this morning, drove back to Pottstown, drop her off in Pottstown, drive 45 more minutes to Downingtown, sit down. I was like, let me go work out. And I'm like, I'm going to watch Game of Thrones. I have an hour. Watch Game of Thrones, get back in the vehicle, drive 3 hours to State College. But I would not miss a day with Goon unless I'm in an elevator.
Unless you're in an elevator.
Unless we know that now. But otherwise, I'm going to be here.
What about our harem over here? We have all female guests.
No doubt about it.
Sorry, Chris. Apologize, Chris.
We apologize to Chris.
Yes, we have an all-female guest.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't miss it.
Magic Aeneas. Yep. Magic Aeneas right here.
I'm not going to respond to that. What I will say is we are going to come back on the other end of the break. We all know what this week is. Ohio State's coming into town. Will Howard, the Pennsylvania kid at quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes. He's already trash talking. We'll get right into that out of the break. We'll get into it out of the break. Stay tuned for the other end of the Modelo Blue White Player Show.
Your sports radio. Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America. 98.7 The Fox State College.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
You're tuned in to the Blue and White Players Show with Keith Goon Conlon, Aeneas Hawkins, and Landon Tengwall. Broadcasting live from the 19th hole at the Penn State Golf Courses every Monday at 6 p.m. all season long. Special thanks to this season's sponsors of the Players Show: Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty, Turner Construction, Austin and Pam Schanfelter, Chris and Lisa Heydrich, Marco Rivera, and Sherry Lane. Now back to more of the Blue and White Players Show.
Welcome back into the Modelo Blue White Players Show. I'm Aeneas Hawkins. That is Keith Goon Conlon if you're just joining us. And at the end of the last segment, we almost got into a debate about Will Howard's press conference, the Ohio State quarterback this week, in which he made it clear that he's from Pennsylvania, grew up a Penn State Nittany Lion football fan, and the coaching staff here did not feel like he was good enough and chose not to offer him a scholarship and give him the opportunity to fulfill his dream of being a Nittany Lion. But Ohio State did. Now, let's get the story correct.
Yeah.
Ohio State eventually did after he spent his whole career at Kansas State. So he wasn't good enough out of high school for either program to offer him realistically.
Okay.
And that's not me dissing the guy. I think he's an adequate quarterback. He's at Ohio State for a reason. He's a good player, but he was not good enough out of high school to go major, according to the offers. What is your take on the situation, Good? Do you feel like he's trash talking?
Did you see Friday night their former quarterback playing for Syracuse?
I did see him.
Who ended up playing for Pitt for the whole first
Yeah,
half.
he's Pitt's favorite player.
Woo.
Yeah.
3 interceptions on the first 6 minutes of the game.
That was a bad deal.
Yeah, and every Ohio State fan is like, I told you so.
The one time we find ourselves rooting for Kyle McCord, he plays like that. That's why you don't root for former Buckeyes.
There you go. So,
yeah.
Do I think it's trash talk? He definitely wanted to make a point, but I mean, you in the same breath, like you said, Ohio State didn't offer him either. So is he just downplaying? Is he talking smack on Ohio State, or just
right
at Penn State or us? I just think that it's a little attention grab. Your generation is very well known for it.
Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I think we're getting to the point where you got to stop grouping me in with the college football. I'm getting closer and closer to me and Will Howard not being the same age. Now, we are the same age because he's been playing college football for 13 years. But this isn't going to last.
Starting to sound like me.
My knees are starting to feel like yours. We're just slowly becoming one person here.
You have knees? I don't have any of those things.
Not for long. Not for long.
My Lord, man. Yeah, but I'm with you 100%. It is. I'm just kidding around by saying that because you're the farthest person from that, attention-grabbing person. But to me, it's like he just wanted to make a point, like, hey, I wasn't good enough for Penn State then. I'm not good enough for Penn State now, whatever. But if you want to go that route, go ahead.
Yeah.
I hope that a couple of our defense linemen.
Well, that's my thing. That's my point there.
Swallow his mouthpiece a couple times.
It's like if you're Will Howard, and honestly, let's keep it real.
No reason to even say it.
There's no reason to say anything. You're playing the best defense in the country. You barely beat Nebraska last week. Some will argue that you really shouldn't have won the game in the first place.
Yeah.
And now you're trash talking the best defense in the country.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me. Now, what I will say.
Would you rank our defense number one in the country? I know statistically it is, but is it?
I think off of consistency, I'll give him the number one nod right now. But again, and let's call a spade here. We're going to find out a lot more about where that defense is on Saturday.
Absolutely. We're going to find a lot of things out.
We're going to know exactly where everybody's at as two young stars walk into the building right here. Devon J. Thomas and Dakari Nelson.
Now our all-female crew is no longer looking at you.
They're no longer interested in Aeneas Hawkins.
We are completely.
Really appreciate you guys.
We were just like, I'm not even going to say
Devon's shoes are brighter than my future. This is incredible right now. I don't know where this is NIL in full effect right here, by the way. We'll get them on here soon.
Is that when he pulled up in his
the spaceship outside? Yeah, he parked it next to my 08 Kia Optima, which I appreciate.
He flew a helicopter in over here to get on the show here. So
anyway,
it is all good. So
but yeah,
I do think it's a little bit of trash talk, but I also think it's that kid like wanting to BITCH a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't good enough to be recruited. But you know what? You're saying the same thing about Ohio State. So what are you really saying, dude?
What are you really saying at all? I think this is the thing.
Just shut your mouth.
Yeah, shut your mouth,
Pay
number one.
respects to both teams.
I can't say that I wouldn't feel the same way he did. I get the narrative he's trying to build in his head. But to me, again, to go public with it, to make it a statement, to say it the way he said it, it was combative. To me, again, it is him trash talking a little bit like, hey, I wasn't good enough. We'll see Saturday.
I don't know this. Were you recruited by Ohio State?
I was recruited by Ohio State, but my experience getting recruited by Ohio State was interesting, right? Like, we got to the point where I was later in my recruitment. People thought I was going to go to Cincinnati, and when they thought I was going to Cincinnati, Ohio State didn't recruit me. But when people started to realize I was going towards Penn State, I was leaning that way. Then all of a sudden, Urban Meyer wouldn't stop calling my phone. So I realized at 16, Ohio State doesn't really want me. They just don't want Penn State to have me. So it was interesting. They offered me a scholarship. I enjoyed my time there. I didn't grow up an Ohio State fan. I actually hated them. I was a Cincinnati Bearcat fan, and we felt like the little brothers.
Sure.
But I was like, their defensive line coach, we know Larry Johnson is a good ball coach, and he was doing a lot of good things with the defensive line. I thought that he was one of the better D-line coaches in the country.
He is the best D-line. There's proof in the pudding.
Let's call a spade again, right?
14 first-round picks from your D-line position.
It's
that's just from Ohio State.
That's just Ohio State. We're not even talking about the Penn State guys yet.
You're not talking about Cameron Wake's not even on the list.
Not even on the list.
Linebacker.
I agree. And this is my final point. The moment I knew I was done considering Ohio State, I was at Ohio State versus Michigan. Now, I just had the experience with Penn State, where Coach Franklin obviously is rolling out the red carpet. They know my family by name. They know what my little sisters are into. Like, they go into the detail of really making sure my whole family's comfortable. We get done with Michigan, Ohio State. I already had a scholarship. I had been getting recruited for 3 or 4 months. And I catch Urban Meyer looking at Kerry Combs, the defensive backs coach at the time. And he's like, hey, what's his name again? And I heard it. And I didn't let him know that I heard it. But I shook his hand. And I'm like, yeah, kiss my rear end. I'm out of here. It's not happening. So that was it. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
That's a good thing.
I don't even like y'all in the first place.
Like,
the fact that I'm here right now, I don't like you guys. And then you know my name is like, okay.
So I'll tell you my story about Joe.
Please.
So I was 9 years old when it came to get my brother in 1982. Just
won
a national title. It's probably January, February 1983.
Okay.
So he's literally coming off of a national title. So he's going down, to our house for dinner. Him and Dick Anderson are recruiting my brother. They're not recruiting my brother.
Right.
He's recruiting mom and dad and all the little 64 kids my mom and dad had in the house. You know what I mean? So I had the old man signing paper after paper after paper because I'm like, I'm selling these things. I'm selling, right? There's actually, he did commit a rule violation that night. He sponsored the Holy Martyrs Catholic grade school
there you go.
Yearbook.
Okay.
Joe Vincent Paterno.
Okay.
He spent $5 as a booster. He won big dog. He won booster. He wasn't just a friend.
Yeah.
He won booster. So that's a violation there itself. But
it definitely is. Carry out.
So I kept on hammering for more and more autographs and stuff like that. And he looked at me and says, "Listen, I'll sign this last one for you, but I'm coming back for your autograph in 10 years."
There you go.
Nobody thought about anything in this or that.
Right.
I'm not lying to you. He comes to my house February 1991. I take his coat off. It's like a rainy, snowy day in Philly. Take his overcoat off. He's wearing mutters. He has a little rubbers on top of his shoes. And I'm like, my grandfather wore those. And I take his coat off of his shoulders. You know what he said to me?
What's that?
I'm here for my autograph.
There you go. He remembered it. That's nuts.
And I'm not lying to you, dude. Everybody in my family was like, because none of us remembered that.
Yeah. But
he sure as hell did.
That's crazy.
And I was like, dude, talk about a guy who recruited the family.
Nobody did it better than Coach
exactly.
Paterno.
So what you just said about the coaches knowing your little sister's name and this and that, and Urban saying, "What's his name again?"
It tells me everything I need to know. Because and here's the thing, and I don't want to get too existential and too deep here, but here's the reality of it, right? So I come to Penn State. I had 40 scholarships coming out of high school. Knees quit immediately. No. Let me finish the story. That has a point. Don't do that. Knees quit on me immediately, never end up even being close to a good enough player to start at Penn State. And I've been on scholarship for 4 years, right? Had I gone to Ohio State, where truly they don't have any intent, or they would run me out of the building. They would have ran me out of the building had my knees done that there. I can never say too much negative about Coach Franklin, no matter how things go, because at the end of the day, they honored my scholarship. And not only did they do that, they made sure that I was still an active part of the team, even though I didn't pan out, right? Like, it's not like that everywhere in college football. Honestly, it's not like that at most places.
Anywhere.
So you got to give Franklin credit for that.
Absolutely. I think that he's carried that tradition on, but it's not really. No, I should say he carried that tradition on. That's him. That's not him carrying Penn State traditions on. That's him.
Right. That's who he is at his core.
At his core.
I
yes.
agree.
And it's as the old man would say, and that's going to change next year when you get to 105.
Yeah.
And there's no walk-ons.
When
you're paying 105 kids,
yep,
you're pretty much a professional athlete.
No doubt.
You ain't making it. Boom, boom. You're gone. I just don't see him. Do you think he still honors that?
It's an interesting situation.
It's a different world, man.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. You got to stay competitive.
Sure.
And that's going to be, I think he's a really good guy. I think he'll do as much as he can to make the right choices as much as possible, but he is a competitor at the end of the day. And you got to keep Penn State football competitive, or we're not. Listen, there are no moral victories
here with all of our ladies.
No doubt. With all of the ladies that love Devon League.
Who all ran away now.
No
They're
doubt.
all over. I don't know.
No doubt. Speaking of our guests, we need to get to the break so we can bring them on. Stay tuned on the other end of the Blue White Player Show. Woo.
WFXS. Once again. Your sports radio. Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA Sports Authority. WFXS America. 98.7. The Fox State College.
I'm the Modelo recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
You're tuned in to the Blue and White Players Show with Keith Goon Conlon, Aeneas Hawkins, and Landon Tengwall. Broadcasting live from the 19th hole at the Penn State Golf Courses every Monday at 6 p.m. all season long. Special thanks to this season's sponsors of the Players Show: Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty, Turner Construction, Austin and Pam Schanfelter, Chris and Lisa Heydrich, Marco Rivera, and Sherry Lane. Now back to more of the Blue and White Players Show.
Welcome back to the Modelo Blue White Players Show. We are joined by a very special guest. Dakari Nelson is in the building. Dakari, we got to ask you, how are you feeling today, brother?
Amazing.
Why are you feeling amazing
I'm a little
today,
tired
Dakari?
from what I'm He just told me what time they got in on Saturday.
What time did you guys get back?
Got back like 3 a.m.
How's that happen? And you know what? I know Franklin didn't move practice back not 1 minute.
No, he did.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, he did.
Look
He
at
did.
this.
He
Look
got
at this.
soft.
You're all old school now, man.
They moved
You
the
are
practice
still
back a
old
little bit.
school
Let's
now.
not late. That's wild, man.
Hawks old school as hell now.
We got back from
I'm
Michigan
wearing
State.
off on him.
Listen, our plane broke down. We went to Michigan State. We didn't take off until like 6 hours after the game. We got back at like 5 or 6 in the
I
morning.
remember that.
I was right back in the building doing rehab at 11. I'm like, oh my God, man, this is crazy. So that's good. They moved practice back at least, man.
How long?
Like we usually start around like 2:45. He moves it back to like 3:30.
Yeah. So he showed a little bit
Yeah.
of wiggle room. Okay, I
What
respect.
do you guys get when you get to the building? You got to have church time on Sunday, so probably nothing until at least 1 o'clock, right?
Yeah, we do treatment around like 12.
Church time.
Yeah, nah. Like guys, it'll actually like guys actually show up, take care. Then like we do that at 12. You'll have whatever to do after your treatment. Then team meeting at 2:30.
Right.
You watch the film as a team. I don't know how James does it. Do you guys watch film as a team, or you watch it as individual or positions?
Like size of the ball. We watch the size of the ball and position.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you walk us through what a normal Sunday looks like for the people who don't know? I always tell people Sundays.
And then I'll tell you about mine, and you're gonna be like, "Damn."
Yeah. So tell us about Sundays.
All right, normal Sunday, we get back whatever time. If we get back late from a night game, he'll push practice back like 3:30. If it's regular, 2:45. Get in, team meeting, talk about the good things of the game, the bad things of the game. We'll go over special teams, some stuff we need to some good stuff we did and some stuff we need to improve on. Then we'll break into size of the ball, offensive lift, defense meet. We'll go over plays as a position, corrections, things like that. Then vice versa, defense lift, offense meet. Then from there, we go out on the field. We go over like corrections from the game.
And what time are we talking? You're on the field.
On the field, if we starting at 2:45, we're on the field probably like 4 o'clock.
Do you get a lift in?
Yeah.
And a film in with an hour and 15 minutes?
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way.
Oh, here comes a fashionably late.
The great Landon Tangle with a lollipop in hand. He's just taking his time, licking his lollipop, hanging out. Sit down,
He was
Landon.
just putting a size medium shirt on in the corner over there. So.
Everybody look at his triceps.
Hey,
Anyway.
you see these things? What's up?
Sorry, Dakar. We didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
It's all good.
You
It's all
want to
good.
come on the show again? Come on.
I definitely will.
So, Dakar, I want to talk a little bit about your journey to Penn State. We like to get into that on the show.
Gotta be a weird one.
Yeah, it has to be. So,
I mean, I don't remember many guys from Alabama.
so talk us through how you got here.
Growing up, you know, everybody down south, especially Alabama, it's either Auburn or Alabama from the time you're born until the time you die.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, Roll
Okay.
Tide.
Okay.
Hi, Tide. I
Yeah.
love that commercial, by the way. Has anybody seen that commercial?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, it's
right
just
now.
some dude outside of the Alabama bus. It's not a real Alabama bus, but he's like, "Hi, Tide. Hi, Tide. Hi, Tide." His wife's like, "It's Roll Tide." He's like,
Hi, Tide.
Hi, Tide. Hi,
It's
Tide.
ridiculous.
Hi, Tide. Sorry.
So yeah, Alabama was my team until I got to high school. Started getting recruited. I was a highly recruited kid coming out of high school, but towards the end of my recruitment, Penn State caught my eye because, like I said, everybody from down south expected me to stay in state or around the south. But I did my research, found Penn State's one of the top programs like all time, and specifically on my side of the ball. And then with Coach Dex being a Hall of Famer at the position that he coached, it's hard to turn down something like that.
Goon, maybe you can speak to this too. But I feel like with position coaches specifically in recruiting, that can be a real advantage when you're bringing kids. I mean, Sean Spencer for me with the D-line was the guy that made me immediately consider and want to come to Penn State. Coach Dex, I don't know if there's another coach I was ever around that has more respect from the players.
Poindexter, right?
Coach Poindexter. Yep, Coach Poindexter. So talk to me a little bit about your relationship and how it's grown since you were a recruit with Coach Dex. Obviously now growing into a high-level player, you're starting to see some success on the field. How has that relationship kind of evolved from the time that you first got on campus to now?
I'll say it started in recruiting. Like from the moment Penn State offered me, Coach Dex was in contact every day. Anytime I needed something, or if I just was bored and wanted to call somebody, I would call Coach Dex. And he was always he would always answer, pick up. Like I would call him random times. Like it'll be like
Just testing him?
Yeah, like 2 p.m., like trying to see if he would answer. He would answer, But that's
That's how you know you wanted it.
Why was that the test? Like, let's just see.
That's how you know you want it.
Yeah. Because a lot of schools during recruitment, they'll recruit you. Like they don't get to know you, they'll just recruit you, like, and try to use you for what benefits them. But Coach Dex, Coach Dex actually built a relationship, got to know me, got to know my family, like knew my whole family. My family talked to him almost every time I did. So then that's where we established our relationship. And then when I got here, I had Keaton, KJ, Jay Reed, Zaki, all those guys in front of me with Coach Dex, and all of them on the same plane, like mentally playing wise and play wise. So
that's a lot of vets that you came in with.
Yeah.
So what
a lot of learning right there, buddy.
A lot of learning. Was it overwhelming being in a room with a bunch of high level guys like that, or were you able to kind of be a sponge and really soak information up from that? Who were the guys in that group that you really leaned on to become a wiser safety?
I would say I was more of a sponge because, like I said, coming out of high school, I was a highly recruited kid. I wanted to go somewhere where I would learn instead of going in and playing off the rip and like not fully developing and knowing what I can learn or get better at. So coming in that room with 4 veteran guys in front of me, it was a humbling moment, but like I was ready for it. I was ready to learn. And I took something from all 4 of the guys. Keaton was the older guy in the room.
Yep.
He'd been around a minute. From him, I took like the easiest ways he learned plays, the easy ways he noticed formations and what plays the offense was running. With Jay Reed, it's almost the same thing, but he has more of the athletic, the athletic part to it also. So I was wondering like off man techniques and things like that from him. And with Zaki, he's a ball hog.
Yep.
So I'm like, with him, I was learning when do you key the quarterback, when do you know when you're going to break, and with him coming from corner too, he had good footwork.
Yep.
So like at safety, you go on a lot of tight ends or whatever, and slot receivers, and that wasn't my strong suit when I first came in. So I learned that from all 3 of them, and then KJ is just a dog. Like everybody know what KJ does, and I was soaking up from him. Like, how do you get that mentality? Like, what's your drive on the field, and like what allows you to play so reckless?
Yep.
2 things we're talking about the whole show here, and that was we were talking about recruiting with Aeneas back in the day, and Urban Meyer didn't. He actually heard Urban Meyer say, "What's his name?"
Yeah.
Now, how high are you in the recruiting list if he's asking that question?
My name, right? Yeah.
You have that. You have Coach Franklin recruiting and Coach Dax recruiting the player and the family. That's a huge thing. But getting in here, and I was talking earlier about the offensive line, and now the whole team, the depth of this team, you guys are wearing people out. Yeah. Like there's a reason why you're stomping in the second half, and that's the depth you guys are playing, the amount of guys you're playing, and at the speed you guys are playing. So, like literally, the whole conversation came into play right here. It all came together right there, talking about that. You come in there, and you have 4 guys that you learn from you, and then what you're saying, I'm just like, it's amazing that you are you're smart enough to realize that, like, okay, I'm not bashing Alabama or Auburn, but you saw your future.
Mm-hmm.
You saw where could I be? What's Alabama and Auburn going to get me? Which would be great if you're a successful, great football player. But I think you saw like, okay, well, I'm looking 10, 15 years, 20 years down the road. Exactly. And that takes a mature person to do that. Where's that come from?
That comes from my parents, the way they raised me. It's not always about like right now or like the quick success. Like the way that they raised me, they were more of like thinking down the long road. Yeah. Like even starting with birthday money or like any money I got from other people at a younger age, they were quick to get it from me because they knew I would spend it like within the next week or month.
And I'm 51 years old. I still do that.
Yeah, I got the same problem.
It don't change, all right? Your parents or no parents, that don't change. You're gonna spend it.
Yeah, but they would get my money and save it for me, and like down the long road, that was the money I ended up needed for bigger and better things in the future.
Good for you, man. That's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we talked about all the other safeties. You were quick to highlight what they did well, each of them. But I want to ask you, when you look at yourself as a safety and you look at where you want to be by the end of your career, what are some of the strong suits that you have right now that make you a special player?
I would say my strength, my size, and my versatility. Because towards the end of camp, they moved me to linebacker, to the little linebacker spot. But like,
we'll call it quasi.
Yeah.
We'll call it a little slack. Yeah. A little slack.
But like that, I feel like that's a benefit because that transition wasn't much of a slow transition for me. I'm a smart guy also, so it's like I took what I knew from safety and just interpret it.
Yeah,
that's the word.
Yep.
Yeah, into the Sam spot.
I mean, you got 3 or 4 good safeties. You can do a lot on defense.
Yeah.
If you guys got some cover guys, you got some guys who are dogs on the blitz and this and that. I mean, you can put them where you want to put them, and you can just roll out there and make things happen.
Yeah, and to speak to that even more, it just seems like everywhere you look at that defense, there are athletes everywhere, and they fly around, they play hard. It seems like the standard and the expectation is really elevated in that room.
I think you guys are punishing people.
Yeah, they're physical, they run.
That's awesome, dude.
So I want to ask you, talk to me about Tom Allen, because I didn't get to play for Coach Allen. I talked to him one time for 30 seconds, and I had goosebumps. So I knew he was the truth from that. But
he said, "Hey, what's that guy's name?"
I don't know who that guy is. Get him away from me.
What is your 30-year-old with a faux hawk?
Yeah.
Sorry, Hawk. Sorry.
Talk to me about your relationship with Coach Allen. How does he have that defense playing at such a high level? And what type of leader is Coach Allen?
Coach Allen, he's a amazing coach. From the moment that he got on staff to now, he was all about getting to know players before getting to need them to perform for what he wants. Like he wanted to make sure that your goals and what you wanted align with the things that the defense need and the teams needs to be successful. So him coming in, it was a amazing transition.
Yeah. I want to know what the hell is going on in the halftime huddle, the locker rooms. I mean, is coach just like ranting and raving, throwing people off the walls, or is it just like a cool, calm, collected, like defense over here, offense over here? Is there any yelling, screaming? Because there's definitely some changes going on between the first half and second half of these big games that we're playing.
No, it's no yelling. It's no yelling. It's offense, defense, and the team motto is 0-0 at halftime.
Yep.
So that's why
we got 1-0 and now 0-0.
Yeah, the scoreboard always 0-0 at halftime. Either we're up, down. So like coming out of halftime, we got to play like the score is 0-0, and we're trying to get the lead and win the game.
Yeah, man, very nice.
That's the easiest way to. Again, the idea with that is let's play 4 good quarters of football. You start playing teams like Ohio State, and then ultimately with the goal being to make the playoffs, you're gonna have to play 4 complete quarters of football at some point to beat these teams. And again, I love the fact that you guys have had the experience of going into half. Losing the game, because it's not going to be the first time that it happens. If it were to happen in the playoffs, or if it were to happen on Saturday for some reason, you guys seem to never shy away from the adversity, which I really appreciate when I watch you guys. I want to ask you about another guy, and he's on the other side of the football. We all got to see him much more than we had. Bo Pribula. He goes in there and does really good things internally. What type of respect does Bo have? How confident are you when number 9 runs out on the field that he's going to get the job done and keep the offense rolling?
Extremely. Coach Franklin emphasizes preparing like a starter.
Yep.
And I genuinely feel like Bo is one of those guys that, like, if you were new to the program and you didn't know Drew Allard and everything that's to happen, you will be wondering like which one of these guys is starter.
Yeah. That's true, and that's the truth. I came to spring ball last year, and I was really impressed with the way that Bo played. I thought that Drew obviously played really well. We know what he is. But Bo, again, it's not like I was on teams where there was a huge deficit sometimes between QB1 and QB2, and everybody knew it. We would go into meetings, and somebody would hit Cliff, and they'd be like, hey, don't hit him because you know what's coming after that. Like, we don't have anybody else here.
We saw that.
We experienced it. We saw it, right? But it seems like that is no longer the case on the offensive side of the ball. And I want to ask you, getting to battle against that group every day. You mentioned coming in and not necessarily being the strongest at covering tight ends. You're playing the best tight end room in college football every day.
True.
What is it like battling against the offense?
It's amazing. Like, you got guys like Tyler Warren, Luke Reynolds, Khalil Dinkins, Andrew Rappier. Like, all those guys are big time tight ends, and like you can learn something different from all those guys, from route releases to, all right, if he's going this way, what route can I expect? Like, Tyler Warren is, in my opinion, is the best tight end in college football, and going against him for these last 2 years have been an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Beautiful, man.
Iron sharpens
well,
iron.
I don't have to wish you luck this week. We are totally wish you luck. We can't wait for this game to happen. I'm sure you guys are chomping at the bit. But, all right, 10 years from now, very successful NFL career is wrapping up. What are we doing?
I want to get into real estate.
Real estate.
Real estate.
There you
can
go.
never go wrong with real estate.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's something my uncle and a lot of people in my family are into. So like I see the success that they've had, and like I want to be where they are.
Are you going to school for that?
I'm going to school right now for RPTM, Recreation Park Tourism Management. Yeah,
awesome. Well, after the NFL career, we got that going on. So, well, we really appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. I thank you for a little late notice, but thank you for coming on.
Showed up for it.
Hey, man,
Appreciate
good luck
you.
this week. I mean, I'm telling you right now, it's Monday night, and there's already a buzz.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's that buzz that you wake up in the morning and I take the dogs out. Sorry, my wife takes the dogs out. I stand on the porch and I have my coffee, and I look around and go, that smells like football. You have that Christmas
You can feel it.
air, and that's all. And then every time you go on Twitter/X, and there's like another thing happened, another thing happened, another thing happened, and this guy's coming, that guy's coming. Game day, pick, all this, and it's all going on at the same. It's going to be absolute mayhem up here. It's the reason we all came to Penn State.
No doubt
for
about it.
these games on this weekend, and trust me, you will remember these weeks
Forever.
for the rest of your life.
Forever.
Win, lose, or draw.
The last thing I'll say, you mentioned moments, you mentioned the buzz going around, you mentioned X. I actually just put a post out. I was in LA Fitness today before I got on the road, right? And across the gym, there's a dude wearing an Ohio State t-shirt.
He got drop kicked.
No, he didn't. But this dude, listen, so I was surprised. I'm like stretching my shoulders. I'm really minding my business. I look up and the dude is just standing there facing me, nothing in his hands, and is just looking at me. You guys are laughing. Me and this man got into a minute-long staring contest.
So much, Buck?
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Me and this dude, like literally where Landon is, we're eyeballing each other for a minute straight. Nobody's moving. Nobody's smiling. And if I wouldn't have got a phone call, we'd have been there all day long. It was a bad deal. It was bad. Like in a local LA.
He's related to the quarterback, probably.
He must be. It was smoke. Like it was I thought when he was looking at me like that, it felt like I was getting ready for practice.
He wanted a piece.
I thought it was going to be a problem.
At an LA Fitness on Monday afternoon.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like stretching now.
In Downingtown, Pennsylvania.
In Downingtown, PA at 3:30 in the afternoon. It was incredible. Anyway,
are you going back every day this week looking for this guy?
In Penn State
you want the smoke?
And guess what? I'm not stretching when I get there now. I'm stretching before I get there, just in case he tries to jump on me. I'm going to be ready. So I'm ready with that. I'm going to whoop him like I wanted to whoop Urban Meyer when he didn't remember my name. And with that, Dakari, we're going to let you go.
I love getting Hawk all angry up, man.
Stay tuned.
Woo! Get some, Hawk.
WFXS. Once again.
Your sports radio. Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA Sports Authority. WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox State College.
I'm the Modelo recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
You're tuned in to the Blue and White Players Show with Keith Goon Conlon, Aeneas Hawkins, and Landon Tengwall. Broadcasting live from the 19th hole at the Penn State Golf Courses every Monday at 6 p.m. all season long. Special thanks to this season's sponsors of the Players Show: Lusk & Associates, Sotheby's International Realty, Turner Construction, Austin and Pam Schanfelter, Chris and Lisa Heydrich, Marco Rivera, and Sherry Lane. Now back to more of the Blue and White Players Show.
Welcome back to the Modelo Blue White Players Show. We're joined by
the real star here.
By the real star of the show,
Guns McGee.
The big guy, Landon Tengwall. Landon, how was your event that you just put on? Tell us about the event with Devon J. Thomas you just did.
Yeah. Me and Devon J. Thomas, we just did an event over at the Bobby Ray Honda of State College. We gave away, it was kind of just a signing hangout with Devon, and we gave away a Honda Moto Compacto, which is Honda came out with this scooter that you sit down on and you ride around, an electric scooter, and you can fold it up pretty much into a briefcase and just pick it up.
40 pounds.
Yeah. And it was it was really cool. So we gave away one to an audience member, and then Devon J. Thomas got his own that he is going to get to customize.
Okay.
So that was that's NIL now. You get
unbelievable.
Yeah, that's NIL to the sorry, Goon.
I got a mongoose back in the day. I mean, it was pretty awesome, Jeez.
Wow.
So yeah, good event though. Everything, you know what? Oh no, I was gonna say everybody, the Penn State fans really do turn out.
Oh yeah.
We had a great event Saturday night up in the Letterman's Lounge.
Fantastic. A lot of people here that were there Saturday night watching the game with us in the Letterman's Lounge. I think we're going to do that more often.
Yeah,
absolutely.
On time.
Great time.
Great food. Penn State Catering took care of us. The bar, the TVs. We got to work the television with the 7-second delay.
We had a little bit of delay on.
We have TVs like right there that you can watch the game, but the TV was over here that everybody was watching, and it was like.
I snuck off. There was a corner all the way at the beginning of the entrance.
7 seconds ahead.
I'd be screaming for the other room, and I felt bad for kind of ruining it beforehand. But it happens.
$50 he scores a touchdown.
That's funny.
Well, that place went nuts when we had the defensive interception to finalize that game to hammer that out. So
yeah,
but just good people involved, and had a lot of people show up with. Our autograph items and stuff like that. It's pretty sweet stuff. Good crew. I think it's going to grow more from there. But I think everybody likes the Letterman's Lounge.
It's a nice
Those
place.
Chairs are awesome, aren't they?
Very nice place. You sink down into them.
The pool hall chairs. Hawk, you ever been up there?
Yeah, I have been. I went up there.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, I went up there during the spring game, I think. And I had a nice chicken tender basket up there. I enjoyed myself. I actually didn't go back down to the game. I don't even think I watched the game on TV. I think I ate the chicken tender basket, and those couches you're talking about sinking in, I literally fell asleep in them.
The big old orange, orange leather couches. So,
yep.
Beautiful. So, I guess we're not going to sleep on Saturday at noon.
No, not at all.
No.
There will be no sleep.
I'm just going to highly advise people to get to that game early because it's just going to be absolute mayhem out there with some visitors from out of town up in the suites. I don't know. I showed Hawk where Fox is signing up, where their state setting up is usually where they do in front of Bryce Jordan Center, and then to our tailgate, to our little grass section next to us where we tailgate, that's where College Game Day is going to be.
Oh, it's right there, right?
Right there. Like literally, we're a pitching wedge for me, probably a
60
3
degree.
iron for you.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Course, you know
all right.
I've seen you drive. I've seen you play the game. It's not good.
It's not good.
No.
All right. You know what? My golf game is getting trashed. I won't take that here at the Penn State Blue Course right now.
You won't take that
what?
You're talking to a guy who can't even swing a club without losing a disc. So it's all good. You won this one.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Can we maybe for a second before we get out of here talk about Ohio State and what we think maybe we should be looking for this game Saturday? Landon, I see you making subtle Instagram posts about Andy Kotelnicki and the offense and what he's scheming up. You seem to be excited offensively. What does Penn State need to do to go out there and be victorious against the Ohio State Buckeyes?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing that's difficult for Penn State, for Ohio State and their defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles, he has to prepare his defense as if Drew's playing and as if Bo is playing. And that is really difficult because it's completely just two different offenses. I mean, you see it. You saw how different it looked with Drew, a little bit more of a drop back, getting him back there, letting him pass. And Bo, it was a lot of trickery. It was a lot of motion, moving guys around. I mean, you saw the Katron Allen touchdown. They actually ran it earlier. They ran that same play earlier with Drew, and it went for pretty much no gain. And then, Bo was in. He's a little bit more of a running threat and creates another element of the offense that you have to get ready for if you're the defensive coordinator. So Jim Knowles is getting ready for all of that. But who knows? Drew might just trot out on the field anyways. So and Franklin has mentioned that in his press conferences before, is that Kotelnicki does all this great stuff, and it's just new, different formations, motions, all that stuff. Well, everything they put on tape, the opposing defense has to be ready for. They have to have an answer for everything.
Goes back to the first game
week
of the year.
Week one.
Yep.
So
sit there. I mean, just think about a defensive coordinator getting ready for the Tyler Warren aspect of it.
He's got to get ready for three quarterbacks:
tailback, center, long snapper, tight end, halfback, fullback, goal line, short yardage guy. It's very impressive what's going on there. But you're right; it's going to drive defensive coordinators crazy. So I know we don't have much time, but what was your biggest game here?
My biggest game here?
I think this is easily the biggest game in like 5 years.
I would say the biggest game here was, in my time, was the 2018 Ohio State game. That game was it was my first whiteout also, so it felt even larger. But I think it may still to this day be the most attended Penn State game. It was a big deal. We obviously ended up losing by 1, but we had beat them in 2016. 2017, everybody remembers, was that vicious comeback that they made in the fourth quarter against Penn State. So we felt like, okay, really, we could have beat them 2 years in a row. So going into 2018, we felt like it was certainly our time. And it was a lot of pressure on that game. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for telling this story.
Good.
We lost by 1 point. Everybody remembers the Coach Franklin press conference.
We're not elite.
We're great. We're not elite. And so I'm standing there listening to Coach Franklin talk after we lose by 1 point. He had just lunged at a fan in the student section. He's pissed that he lost, which I get. We're all pissed. He's yelling about things that need to get corrected for us to go from great to elite. And he looks at me. We make eye contact, which is a grave mistake as a freshman. He's like, you got to stop eating so much damn ramen during the team meetings. And for no reason, I get this stray.
Hate crime.
The red shirt and not playing at all. And I'm getting yelled at after we lose to Ohio State.
Oh, my God.
That was crazy. Uncalled for. So, Coach Franklin, we'll talk about that later.
A ramen kid here?
I was eating a normal amount of ramen at that time.
That's a big pre-practice thing.
That was the thing.
It's always there in the nutrition bar. Instant ramen. Okay. Instant ramen.
Yeah, it was the instant ramen.
Yeah.
What,
so,
like the little
cups?
Packs?
Yeah, little cups. Yeah, pretty much.
What's your salt intake, boys?
Well, you need sodium.
Well, we're about to practice.
You're about to
for
practice.
17 hours.
You'll see cramp. I've had the worst.
That's why we had Pepsis and Cokes at our.
And why are you yelling at us about ramen? You were drinking Coca-Cola before you were running wind
That was
sprints.
halftime. That was Joe would tell us at the middle of practice. Get a Coke break. I swear to God, it was stolen my mother and father.
Yes, cigarette and Coke break.
No cigarettes.
Let's thank God for
it was a cigarello. So don't worry.
Cigarellos.
Good.
That might be
we had a little black and mild action going there.
Yeah.
So
shout out Archie.
Well, no, this weekend's going to be really fun. This is the first time that this has been a top 5 matchup between Penn State and Ohio State since 1996. I believe it was actually the roles were reversed. Ohio State was 3, Penn State was 4, and should be fun. I mean, we
96 game. I remember.
We got blown out.
No, we didn't.
Oh, we blew them out.
No,
right? It was like 42-7.
You weren't even alive.
I was not alive. I was still a twinkle in my dad's eye.
You told me the other night you're a post 9/11 birth.
I am a post 9/11 birth. Yeah, I don't have any memory of where I was.
95, they got us late. 94, we beat them 63-14. 95, they got us
63. Imagine beating Ohio State 63.
I don't think the team that they had too. They were absolutely loaded. But at 96, that's the courtesy. That was 97. 96 would have been out there, so maybe they did truck us.
I think I was.
They got blown out. Landon
38-7.
He wasn't even alive.
That was at Ohio State in 1998. That was a.
I should have held my ground more firm because I did the research.
Yeah,
I don't know why I didn't stand up to Goon.
Yeah, he backed down.
What's going on?
97 was the courtesy, and then Harris.
Aaron Harris.
Aaron Harris at fullback.
Big Aaron Harris.
Curtis. They ran for like 250 in the second half on them. That was awesome.
Shout out Aaron Harris. Actually, he works for the Miami Dolphins now as the he's like the main guy that connects all the schools with all the kids with the Miami Dolphins to do like kid camps.
Aaron?
That is absolutely.
He has his brother from.
I was with him. I was with him in Miami. So yes, I am sure.
What's his Arlen? He's Arlen Harris is his brother.
Arlen. Oh, I didn't even know he had a brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
He played at UVA. Well, he's from down in town. Speaking of
Drew Shelton. All right. Well, I don't know where we go.
Speaking of which, can I say one more thing?
That's where Ohio State's quarterback went to.
Downingtown. Correct. So I'm walking around my apartment complex one day in Downingtown, Pennsylvania, and there's a coffee spot that's in my apartment complex. So
are you getting picked on again?
No, not this time.
Get your lunch money taken again.
So I went. Landon laughs. Landon never took my lunch money, so don't you get it.
Oh Lord!
All right,
but some guy in LA Fitness scared the tar out of you.
Yeah, he did. I was shaking.
You're outside putting $5 on his car door. Like, sorry, dude. There you go. I'll buy you lunch.
Anyway, Downingtown, Pennsylvania. I'm getting a coffee one morning, and I'm walking back to my apartment, and all of a sudden I hear honk. I turn around. Drew Shelton's mom is my new next door neighbor in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. So we talk Penn State football and passing on like Tuesday mornings. I'm getting coffee. It's just like a random small world that Drew Shelton is in.
That is amazing.
Uncle used to roll back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, he played at Gettysburg with a buddy of mine. So
Shelton connected.
Comes to our tailgate all the time. Can't come on the Blue White Players show, but
we're gonna get Drew Shelton on soon.
It's just a matter of time.
We'll just show him. Why weren't you here this day?
We're just gonna grill him. Dinner with girlfriends, studying, exams, all of it. We appreciate you guys tuning in to the Modelo Blue White Players show. Thank you guys so much. We will see you next week.
Maybe he'll show up.